You're posting, you're speaking, you're doing everything they told you would grow your business. So why is it not converting? Because visibility is only half the equation. Getting attention is easy. Turning that attention into clients takes strategy. VoiceLab was built to solve that. We're posting. This is where front-end visibility meets back-end conversion. Everything they told you would grow your business. You learn how to get on stages, create your own platforms, and use podcasts, summits, and workshops to grow your audience and generate real leads. Then you learn what most people never build. A system that captures those leads, follows up, nurtures relationships, and turns interest into revenue. Email and newsletter strategy that actually gets responses. Workflows, not just more noise. Real connection that leads to real business. Inside VoiceLab, you are not guessing. You're learning the how. You're implementing in real time. You're building a business that works even when you are not constantly chasing attention. Because here's the truth. If you don't have visibility, no one knows you exist. If you don't have systems, nothing converts. VoiceLab gives you both, so you can stop performing for attention and start building momentum that pays you back. If you are ready to grow your authority, expand your reach, and finally turn visibility into income, join Colleen Stubbs and Nicole Borghi in the VoiceLab. Scan the QR code, join VoiceLab Group on the school platform, and build the business that actually works.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Voice Lab podcast. We're large and in charge. We're all over the globosphere today, coming at you with another episode of the Voice Lab. And it's really all about sharing how entrepreneurs can turn visibility into business growth. We want to simplify your life. You're going to get seen, heard, get on the stage, grab that mic, share your message, and do all the cool stuff on the back end, all that fun stuff to simplify your life and to get those workflows and emails ready to go so you can get out and you can have a life and you can control what you can in your business. And definitely set it and forget it, automate, delegate, and affiliate on that back end so you can get out there and enjoy your life, enjoy your the wonderment of what you created as an entrepreneur. And we've got a few things going on today. We're going to talk about a few things here, and I'm going to bring that up, what we've got going on today, because we've got workshops. We've got workshops galore. We've got master classes coming up. So let's see, today at 12 Eastern, that's right. It's on the calendar in the Voice Lab. And if you're not there, if you're on LinkedIn, that calendar's there. And what do we got going on today? We've got this 5 steps to lead high impact events, those virtual events. What are your desires and your hopes in them? It's really to share your summit blueprint. What's your summit, your workshop? Are you getting out there? Are you out reaching out to people? Is there a workflow that you have set up? Are you engaging? How are you doing that? And how are you monetizing it? So I'm going to add a little spice in there today. I want to talk about affiliation and sponsorship. How do you sponsor yourself and get out there in the world? That's going on today. Of course, we have a few stages that are going on as well. So there's a few summits, the Plot Twist Summit for authors, who have written a book, or for authors who are inspired to get ready and write that book and want some publishing support. That's coming up as well. And the authority code. So we have a few things coming up in there. And you know what, today, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about your content isn't the problem. Your message is a hot mess, right? What is going out there? How are you reaching out to people? And is your content consistent? We've got a lot going on. And, how do you do that? How do you get out there? That way it matches your message, and people can follow you and they will stay following you. They will be forever fans with you. So we're going to talk about explaining instead of converting. You don't want to over explain, right? You don't want to get out there, do too much, and you want to talk instead. You want people to go and lead somewhere. And this way your leads stay hot and warm and ready for you. And this is what we're in here today. I am your hostess with the mostest, Nicole. And I'm an event to scale visibility leader. And what I do, my passion is to share with entrepreneurs how to leverage events as a marketing machine, really building the authority platform that's going to be that one and done, so you can come on the stage and you can make the most of it and you can get out there. People want to hear from you. They don't want a commercial, they don't want AI, they want the real you. And I do done for you and done with you summits and workshops. So let me bring in my co-host, the wonderful Colleen Steps. Come on up and share with everybody how all about the wonderful things you've got going on.
Yep, you bet. So I'm Colleen Stubbs. I am the founder of Simplified CEO Systems, and I create a simple back end for my clients. So I simplify, go high level. What does that mean? That means that I create for my clients a website, landing pages, email nurture sequences, automations, workflows, pipelines, integrations, everything that you would need in your back office. I create for you. I do this while you're on vacation so that you can come back and you have those links ready to share and to drive traffic into your world. And so that's what I do. I'm Colleen Stubbs, the founder of Simplified CEO Systems. And in collaboration with Nicole, I help you take those leads that you get when you're behind the mic. I help you take those leads and integrate them into your back office so that they go directly into the workflows that you've pre-created, so that you are able to not drop those leads, not leave them on a sticky note somewhere, but actually move them through your pipeline system of your business so that they get to know you, they get warm welcome into your world, and you can grow your business with confidence. So today we are really just diving into it. I'm excited for this. I feel like I'm a little bit new, definitely newer than Nicole to speaking. And so there's always things that I can learn about my speaking and presentation outline and how I present myself. And so, Nicole, let's dive into it. We are looking at your talk or your presentation is not content, it's a conversion machine. And how many of you have thought of it like that, right? Like, I'm not sure. I think that we gather the information we have and we just kind of present it. And a lot of people present it, hope and run. And so at least I haven't been guilty of that, right? Like I do take my leads from it and nurture them and put them in a sequence, but I know that there's so much more to it. And every time that I sit down and talk to Nicole about it, she has pointers for me. And so I'm always learning from her exactly what I should be doing a little bit differently or more thoroughly in my presentation. Yesterday, I had two presentations yesterday. First place, I had my master class, which is every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Next week's the focus is on simplifying your business. And then I also spoke at the Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel Summit, and that was amazing. Always with Kimberly Crow. It's a fun time. So Nicole,
Yeah, let's talk about that. I want to talk about this. Very important because we're going to get into um, making your content a conversion machine. And in order to do that, you got to get on the stage. And you just knocked it out of the park on the stage with Kimberly. You can tell the dynamic that you two had and how excited she was to be able to talk to somebody that had experience and that wasn't afraid to tell their story, right? You know, and you know, if the stage host is interviewing you and the energy's low and they keep trying to get you to reframe the message and you're not picking up the keys because they're not being rude and they're a seasoned host, you want to follow those little keys in the conversation. A great stage host understands where they're trying to guide you, and if you're kind of bottlenecking it in that moment, right? You're stopping it, you're putting a wall up. Well, I want to go this way. No, that a great stage host is trying to guide you. So listen to those keys. If they say the same thing two or three different ways, that means you need to answer that question. You absolutely have to answer that question. There's a mistake of guests that don't pay attention. They want to get their story out. A great stage host will make you look good. Nothing bad, no gotcha questions. They're trying to guide you. So listen to the keys. If they're trying to guide you, they're trying to guide you to tell the story. They're trying to guide you in the energy and match that host energy, right? If they're a little bit more energetic, you want to bring the energy up, and you don't want to, oh, well, I have this story to tell. You want to be up, you want to be energized, and kind of match that. And if they're low, bring it up a little bit, because you want to stand out and shine. That doesn't mean that you need twirly buttons and sparkles, and they're all fun. I love tech, but you were able to match Kimberly's energy toe to toe, tell a story, and you were just guiding the audience and getting the audience to say, "Hey, listen up. This is a writer downer. Listen up. Get your book out. I want you to do this." You have strong call to actions, and that's so important on the stage. What your call to action is, write it down. Come to my workshop. Schedule a call with me, because I talk about this stuff, and I want to make your life better. I want to serve you. I want to make your life better, because I want to raise you up as the entrepreneur that you are, and raise you up and say, look, we're going to do this barn raising here in your business, so you have a great foundation and a wonderful warm place in the winter to come to, right? And people tend to kind of fight that, and they always want to be right. And it's not important you're right. It's important that you share the message and really listen to the host as much as possible. And you were able to do that. So that's great. How did that make you feel? I mean, they had so many people in the room. Some of those cameras were off because it takes a lot of the Wi-Fi bandwidth, and it's hard to do some video work. So quite understandable. But people in the chat were just energized to answer you, and they really paid attention to you. And it was just, and it raises you that much more, because when your energy's not only your energy high, but you don't have that fake energy, like, that real fake energy that people get, that whatever toxic positivity that's not real. You're passionate and about what's good or what's bad, or what because of your experience, works or doesn't work. Hey, this worked for me, this works for my client, and that's why I do this job. So people are able to interact with you. And how did that make you feel in your speaking journey when you're coming here and the host is excited to see you and have you on the stage and just hear your energy, but know that you're going to bring something?
Yeah, I love it. And I love interacting with all of the guests and all of the attendees, right? I do know, like you were saying at the beginning, when the tone is like monotone, right? I had that happen to me last week. I was listening in on a summit. I was working at the same time. Cameras were off, and I got up and walked away and went and did something and came back and sat down and was working a little bit more. And I was like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be listening to this." It was that monotone. And I felt horrible for the person, because I felt like they don't understand that it was that way. And when it becomes that, it kind of becomes like a lullaby, right? Like it just kind of puts you to sleep. It's not energizing at all. And so it is important to make sure that you're aligned with your host. And usually if you are aligned with your host, then your host is going to bring the aligned audience that expects to interact, that expects for you to talk to them, and to ask questions and things like that. And I think that there are subtle things that you can do. And I'm sure Laura touched on a lot of these. Laura Doman, when she was held her master class a couple weeks ago, last week, I think, actually, inside Voice Lab, right? And so there are a couple things that you can do as a speaker, as far as leaning in, as far as pausing, as far as telling your audience in a call to action. Grab your pen and paper. Listen, you're going to want to write this down. This is going to be a gold nugget. I'll give you a second to get your pen and paper. And then they're interacting. Then they're listening. Then they're not in la la land going, "Oh yeah, right. I was supposed to be listening." So I think there's a lot to that presentation, but always being welcomed on stage by a host that you're aligned with and your energy aligns with is a huge benefit of speaking at all.
Right, 100%. You remember that movie Ferris Bueller, and Laura mentioned this in her master class. It was so Bueller, Bueller,
Yes.
Bueller. Talk about copy and paste. It comes off as you're a non-player character in the game of life. Just because you change your hair and your top, you have to have the personality, because it's a square. We're in the Hollywood squares here, trying to stand out. And people think that, they have to put something on their head or put the sparkles in there, and that kind of stuff is fun, but I'm going to tell you what, it's not lasting. It's
Right.
overwhelming. It's too much. If you cannot stand out on your own, then people will notice that. It's kind of like in the sales where people used to say, when you get on the call, put a smile on your face. And you're like, yeah, that's great. It makes the call better. Not really. They meant like change the energy,
Right.
change that energy and match that. And that's what gets you back on stage. It's not just because you paid to be there. Yeah, the host will be there. But how many times when you go to that event is that host going to come out and say, "Oh my gosh, Colleen, you were talking the other day. You were on the stage over here and or hey, you're coming to Orlando." There's probably 30 other people that are doing the same thing, but they're not going to get mentioned.
Right, right. And I think, like you're saying, Nicole, like it's not about the sparkle and glitter, but as a CEO of your business, there are times when you have to step up and change the energy, and that is your job. You would not go rock climbing in ballet slippers. You would change your shoes. And so if you're one of the entrepreneurs that's like, well, but I'm vanilla, that's just not who I am, and I need to be authentic, that's fine, but you still have to have a magnetic message and deliverability, and you have to raise the energy bar when you're trying to interact with people and draw them into your world. You can be vanilla all you want and you can be mellow all you want, but the stage isn't the place for that because we don't want an audience that's sleeping.
No, we don't. But it's a snooze fest. And here's the other thing that I'm noticing with events right now is there's times when you want interaction and people are going to be off camera, not just because they have something to do. People have life, or maybe they just don't want to be on camera. We're on camera all the darn time, guys. Get real. Sometimes you just want to turn off the camera. Like the other day I was in an event, I'm on camera all day. I feel like a webcam girl, right? I wish they had body filters because I probably do that. Hey, whatever. I'm living the single life right now. Hey, hit me up. No, just kidding.
I think we're going to start only CEOs over here.
Right? Just kidding, guys. You gotta laugh about it. But the thing is sometimes you get there, makeup on or not.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just having a moment. Can I not be recorded? I want to honor you in a meeting, and I know why you're recording it because you need to take notes and everybody wants the information. But sometimes you're just in that moment, and it's like, look, I don't have the energy. But when you look at it, I mean, it happens to all of us. When you look at it, when you're having a master class in a workshop, at least come in on the camera and say, hey, I'm going to eat my food. I'm going to slurp my noodles. Give me a minute. I'll be back on. Just put something in the chat so you acknowledge. It's a great way to acknowledge the host and the guest and everybody around there. The other thing is too, you still can reach out in the chat. So every now and again, throw something in the chat. But the other thing is why would people come on camera if you don't include them? You're not including them. You're not reaching out to the chat, and Colleen was great. Kimberly is great in there, and people, hey, put a one in the chat. Pause. Look at that. Or if you tell people to write something down, remember to pause and come back and say, hey, what was the number one thing you guys wrote down that you were called to write? Maybe not, it's not for all time, but just in this moment, that was the one thing that was in your head. Call back to that because you want to solve for that solution so people pick up your product, right? And the other thing is include people. And you did great with this on the workshop. Include people. People want to know that it's okay for them to participate and get off the mic. And even if you're like, hey, have a question, just remember, like, hey, Chanel, Barbara, Jack, hey, by the way, if you can, come off on the mic and just let me know what was one of the things that you put down that you're called to share at this moment, right? Because, there's time to call people out, but there's also time to say, hey, let me know. You're guiding, again, now you're guiding your audience to come on camera and participate. And if we're in a trust recession, people want to know that you really care, that you give a darn, and that they can have interaction and connection. The other thing is when people do share, don't tell them no, you're wrong. Oh, that's not what we're talking about right now. Make it relative. or say, hey, we're going to call back. Hey, so I asked you to write what are three colors that you're called to write? Yellow, blue, green, right? And they write it down, and you're the host. And I've seen people do that, and you're the host and say, you didn't put pink on there, so you're just wrong, wrong, wrong. Instead, say, hey, yeah, I like the green, but right now what we're going for is more of a red, a pink, possibly a purple, because it's got a little of the red shade in there, red hue in there. Or we'll come back to that. Don't
Yeah.
make your audience feel stupid for coming on the mic. And this is where we get into the leads and the content, right?
Right. And I'm going to say too, Nicole, that everybody's favorite word is their name. And so acknowledging people, I'll give you an instance from my boutique days. And I did an experiment with my employees because every time somebody would walk in, I would try to call them by name and I would say, hey there, welcome to Chicken Lips, and say their name, right? And just acknowledging them as they come in the door. And then that opened the door to me saying, oh, yeah, we got some new jeans. Let me show you those. Or we got this. Or, but it opens the door to the conversation. It makes them feel included. It definitely makes them feel seen and heard. And so it's the same thing. We did in the experiment I did with my employees, we allowed a few people to come in and we didn't acknowledge them. And guess what? They maybe puttered around, turned around, walked out because they felt like it wasn't their world. It wasn't their place. And I have many guests or clients that would come in and shop with me because it was their escape. They
Mm-hmm.
felt good coming in there. And so that's the same thing with your audience. You want them to feel good coming in when you're speaking. You want them to feel acknowledged, seen, and heard. And you need to do that by even speaking to them by name and actually speaking directly to them and including them. That is so huge because this is you welcoming them into your world. This is the first step of that relationship for many, many people, especially if you've never seen them anywhere before, and make it memorable so that next time they see you, even if you are just in the audience next time, they recognize you because it's all about building those relationships and it has to start with making them feel important, seen, and heard, right?
Absolutely. And you're a small business, and when you're in different places, it's great to call people out. There, but I will say, coming from an urban area, it was really weird, because the Starbucks does that and they put your name on, they didn't really care about it. But it's the attitude, and you give that great attitude. And I'm going to tell you guys, here's a truth in my life. I had a hard time when people, hey, Nicole, and I would be like, no, I didn't do anything wrong, right? Because the kind of business I was in, if I was getting my name called out, there was some type of investigation, something happened, right? So I've been called everything in the book. So there's an adjustment. You're in a different place. So remember, when people are calling you out, they're calling you out with love and they're talking to you. So come into this small space. It is your time to shine, because anytime you can grab a mic, take it. Take it. If you're in a networking room, and there's a networking that I go to, we go into breakout rooms for about 10 minutes, and I like to keep timer because people keep hearing my name. They keep seeing the timer next to in my square, right? So this is how I'm relating to people, and I'm serving people because I'm helping you before I help myself, right? So it's a little hook kind of to get people to see, oh, Nicole's here, she's doing the breakout room, and if I forget to share my power partner, hey, who are you looking to work with? And I do it because people forgot to do this for me. People didn't do it for me. It was like some networking secret. So I say, hey, what kind of group are you looking for? So I remember to do that, share with people, to put their stuff in the chat. And sometimes it goes by so quick that maybe the room's a little bit packed. Some people came in late. So I don't always get to share my message, but I can share it in the next group. People are going to see me, and they're going to acknowledge me regardless, and they're going to remember me for coming back. Also, when we get out of that breakout room, there's a chance again, a second time. So that's actually three times, because I'm in the room with a timer. I get to introduce myself. I get to have my little pitch. And then the third time, we come back out of that room because there's a hundreds of people in there, and they say, hey, let's hear about what happened in your room. So I raised my hand and I said, Billy, Bob, Sue, and Sue are a crew, and they do a song and dance for your show. So if you want to come to the event, they have this great thing that they share at your event, and I get to share that. I'm not talking about myself, but I'm on stage talking about other people, I'm edifying other people. I'm not being a doormat where I'm sitting back because I get to have that call, and when people get to listen and they see you as more of an expert or as more of a seasoned networker. I'm not an expert networker, but now I'm seasoned because I took all the mistakes and all the fails that I learned, give people grace for what they did or didn't do, and just take charge of that room. But it's not, I'm not being pushy. I just let people know, hey, your time's up, the alarm goes off, we're going to go ahead and move to the next person. If we have some more time, we'll come back and we'll get to ask you some questions or book a call or try to match people up and partner them up. Hey, you guys be a great match. So these are ways for you to get on the mic without throwing your pitch out there. And when you do this, when you're relatable in your business, when you talk to people, you share with them, you call them out by their name and say, hello, how are you? How are you? How is it going? Come off if you can, go ahead and unmute and share with me what you put down. You're building relationships. And sometimes people just come back to your workshop because you built a good relationship. They
Yes.
may not need you at that time, right? And these are ways, and then they give you the grace to share your call to action, whatever that is, right? And then we get into the back end because now you have leads, so you need to put that into the system and share those takeaways, what you got, what you're going to do with that person.
Well, and I think too that when you're stepping up, like you're saying, especially in the breakout rooms, that you are positioning yourself as an authority. Some of the people in those rooms, it may be their first time ever in a room. They don't know what happens, they don't know what to expect. And so when you step up and you lead, it just really positions you as the authority in the room, which is important. And especially the type of authority that it positions you as when you don't have time to share your own thing. It positions you as kind, as one who is considerate of others, of one who puts others ahead of themselves. And that is magnetic in itself. People want to be friends with that person for sure. And they want to associate with that person. And so just being able to do that and being able to do it clearly and with authority that's not overwhelming, right? And so I got in a breakout room maybe last week, I think. And it was like chaos. It was like six of us went in there and then nobody said anything. And then everybody started saying stuff and then everybody shut up. And I was like, okay, so we're going to start with when I'm looking at my screen, you're the first one. So let's start with you and give us this, and just took control of the room. But they needed that. That room needed that. And we didn't have time to get to me, but that's okay because same thing, Nicole, when we get back in the main room and they're like, what'd you learn? I was able to say and articulate what everybody did and things like that. And I think it's important. There's so many ways to get in front of the mic, and that's definitely a good one. And it's all about getting seen and heard. So you can't just get on stages. You also have to get in networking, get in different rooms. You have to be behind the mic, and you have to be also as guest in things so that you are seen a lot and you're seen as multi-capable, right? Like all these different places and things you can do.
And that's great. And I will say, guys, when you're giving grace and you want to be the authority and you really want to be a power player and show people that you are the CEO exec that you told people you are and that you've decided you are, that's not the time when you get out of the breakout room or the stage to say things to people. And yes, it's mean stuff when you call somebody, well, people in the breakout room weren't being nice and they were all over the place like a bunch of kids. What did you do? You stepped right into it, Colleen. You said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and we're ready to go. This is the person first on my screen. Let's go.
Yeah.
And you're taking control, you're showing you're an expert, and you're not allowing. This is why it's complete chaos in the world. And it has come to networking and stages because we've enabled and let people just kind of fight it out. You don't need to be like a news station where you're up here and everybody's screaming at everybody. Nobody wants that in their business. That's why it's time to change and reel it back in and get it out there. Now, if you do that, that's a stage. Remember, anytime you're on the mic, it's a stage, right? So you've grabbed the mic, you've got seen and heard. That's marketing value. It's golden for you. And and if you share and say, I didn't get a chance, and let people know, there's a way to call it out and say, hey, you know what? I didn't get a chance to share my stuff because we had such a great room going on, but I look forward to sharing it in the next room.
Yeah.
Then somebody in that room is going to go, hey, Nicole, why don't you go ahead? You didn't get a share. Ah, remember, you're calling it back. You're calling it out in a kind way, and it's the way that you position it. This way, when you get into the back end and you go into the leads, gotta love leads. I love leads. You guys come on my stage, get leads. It's all about the leads. How important is that? Part of that pay to play is leads. I know you want leads. I know you're speaking to leads. I know sometimes when you come on the stage, for whatever the pull of the moon, the energy from the sun, the spark from the stars, whatever didn't align in the planets when you came on the stage and you don't have much audience participation, or you feel like there's not enough people at that moment, maybe the world's on lunch, whatever, you're still going to get leads. You're going to get leads, and that's the ticket to go share them. You're going to get stage time. You're going to get live time with podcasts. In Plot Twist a Gathering, there's still a few stages left. You guys come on in there. I'm going to live stream the panel. We're going to have the speaker panel, the gathering, the fireside chat. That moment when we get to have interaction and then networking with the audience is going to, we're going to go off camera, but we're going to live stream it. So you're getting so much attention and you're getting leads. Those leads are hot, ready, and aligned for you. So come on the stage. That's what it's all about. You got to do the work. You got to, come in. You've got to support everybody and then be there. Take those leads. And then you've got someone like Colleen who's going to share with you how to make that magic happen so you can talk to these people afterwards and keep sharing that message. Because Colleen, we talk about this a lot recently, is the thing is, if you're on the stage, you could take all that content and repurpose it, right?
Absolutely. And that's my favorite way of doing it. My husband actually said to me, bless his heart, we'll start with that. Actually said to me last night, he said, you're so much better live. I hate when you try to record things. I said, what? He said, you try to record things, it takes you 53 times, if not 5,300, because you feel like it has to be exact and perfect. He said, when you just communicate with people, when you're just talking with people, it's so much more natural, and your point comes right across and you do a really good job with it. And I was like, oh, okay. So, but yeah, I love it live, and I love being able to take that recording and just plug it into like Riverside and get short clips, right? And you can take those short clips, they can become social media content. It can be a point that you're making in your newsletter, which creates an interactive touch point in your newsletter for people, or your email sequence, right? You can take the transcript and plug that into AI and get captions, get newsletter content, all of the things. There's so many ways to repurpose these recordings of you behind the mic. It's amazing. And I will say that I'm excited to be on Plot Twist. I'm excited to really even just share my screen and show the steps, because I feel like so many people don't understand how easy the process can be when it's set up in advance to move those leads from people who are in the audience or people who registered for the summit, to actually move them into your world and nurture them and build relationships with them. I think that's key. And I do want to go back up just a little bit. I feel like I'm always backing up, like I'm the bus that backs up. So here we're going to
beep, beep. We need a button.
we're going to back up a little bit to Nicole saying sometimes you want to stay off camera because you didn't do your makeup. And I'm going to say, I'm going to go against the grain on this and say, girl, if you are the CEO of your business, treat it like a business. I understand you work from home. I love pajamas. I'm not showing you what I'm wearing down there, but up here, it's professional looking. It's clean. It's got makeup, hair done, because I know that as the CEO of my business, at any point during the day, I might have to get on camera. and I need to be prepared. And so even if you're just showing up in the audience, please don't show up wrapped up in your blanket with no bra on. Please
Don't look
don't do
like you're
that.
shopping at Walmart at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, because I, I look at you and I'm like, okay, well, she needs to be a client to somebody. I don't look at people like that and think there's a leader. That's
That's
not
the
the
time.
job.
That's the time to stay off camera and just say, "Hey, I'm off camera. I need to be here for you. I need to be here if I'm in a meeting. If you're in a meeting with your crew and your team, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about an event. So there is that difference in that fine line because there's sometimes you need to debrief and say a few things, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now I will say too that I was in a networking event with somebody, and it was so interesting to me because she put in the chat that she just like 3 hours previous finished breast surgery. And that's why she's wrapped the way she is, because she has all
Oh,
these
cool.
pads and things on her. And so she's just going to stay off camera. And I was like, okay, that's a really good reason. Yeah, like I'm surprised
Overshare.
you're even here. You should just get off the camera and go take a day, right? But kudos to her for showing up. But I do think that we need to be prepared to show up,
Mhm.
and especially as if you're a speaker, but also in the audience, because I feel like both positions are equally important. The things you drop as an audience member, as an attendee, the things you drop in the chat can position you as an authority in your business. You can build relationships by supporting other people's comments in the chat, by supporting the host, by supporting the speaker, by responding, all of those things. And so when you're doing that, when you pull up a chat in a summit and 2/3 of the comments are the audience members going back and forth, and then half of those you're interacting on, people see your name and they look for your picture and they want to see what you look like so they can associate you. And so it's important that you use all of these marketing opportunities to your advantage. Nicole, let's talk about opening with the outcome and not your bio. This is something you taught me. So go ahead and teach everybody the same way you taught me.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. So, and this is what you learn in your journey when you're going through your business. And these are some key things to stop and look at. When you start your speech, and I did work with a great person, Al Jensen. He is such a great person. He not only had businesses that he built, but he was a magician, I can say that, but he had this really great sense of humor, and it helped me through the business. I actually learned more about business from him than as much as speaking as well, because how to be a speaker. And I have a cool tool that's coming up, you guys. I want to see this that I talked to somebody about yesterday. It's an app for speakers, and I just want to scream from my roof because I don't get excited about certain things because some things just aren't what they are sold as. But this is like the real deal, cool stuff. This is coming at us for those speakers that want to get booked on stage and make a little extra money, make some money, make some money. So big time stuff coming at you. So I'm excited about that. Oh, and the second thing before I forget, because I'm going to get into this conversation, is a directory of speakers has been launched. It is on LinkedIn. If you're on YouTube, I'll put it there. It's on my website, Nicole Borgie, and .com. And when you go there, so I'm going to actually put the link in there because I think that the website link has changed and I may be saying this wrong. But it's a speaker directory, and I put this in here. You want to get on stages, you want to hashtag be a guest. If you have a talk, if you are on stage, you want to present, you want to get on my stages, you want to get into these lunch and learns, you want to be on the podcast, you want to be out there and you want to share this fantastic message that you have and you want to bring it, hashtag be a guest. You guys can put that in the comments, and we can connect. You can DM me if you're on LinkedIn. And guess what? One of today's posts, I'm going to go check it out after this as well, has the directory in there. We're going to get some stages out there, and the launching of event space. If you have a stage and you want to bring cool people onto your stage, we're going to list it. That includes podcast and pay to play podcast. So we're going to go big. We're really going out there. We want to give people what we talk about. And this is why we share these tips. So we can offer you the full platform. We want to serve you fully to totally stand out and shine. And if you got pink slip from corporate America in 2026, you want to come on the stage because it's the best way to tell your message. But let's get into the making your message, not your mess, a good message now, right? So when you come to the stage, there's a few things, there's a few chunks you want to look at your outline that always pay attention to you, and it should be in just about threes. And why? Because A, it's going to keep you focused, and B, the audience is going to be able to take it. You're probably going to add a little bit more than three in your talk or your workshop, but three is what you want to advertise because remember, a confused mind doesn't buy and a confused mind isn't showing up. Even if they decided to attend, they're going to be like, it's too much. It's too complicated. I'm out of here. That's why we simplify stuff in the Voice Lab. But what you want to start with a hook with people when you're coming in, right? We want to start a hook. Basically, the structure, we're going to work on this today in the workshop, so you can absolutely come and ask questions. So it's perfect timing for this, is that you're going to want to give a few minutes. And when, yeah, it's simple. You want to connect to your audience, but while you're connecting to your audience, you're checking your tech, making sure all the links are working, seeing if people are emailing you or DMing you. You should have a co-host. That's what I do, is I show up in the background as a magical Oz in the Emerald City and do this for the stage host. But you want to make sure, even if you're running your own event, note to self, that 5 minutes, give 5 minutes, maybe 10, depending upon if it's your first time or how many people or what's going on. Give yourself the blessing of the tech. Give yourself that of introducing people. Not only are you working with people and you're sharing and you're connecting and you're building trust, and people are going to throw it in the chat anyway when they come in. Hey, I'm from Florida. It's sunny. It's raining. Hi, I'm Sam. Whatever. They're going to share that anyway, so you might as well give it up to them and just take it as control. So if you kind of flip the script in your head, you're going to get that. You want to get that warm and fuzzy in there, and that gives you hiccup time to fix a few things and troubleshoot. Then you let people know, hey, if the event is 2 hours, you can let them know. If it's going to be more than 2 hours, hey, we're going to probably take a few breaks along with us. So just be along with the journey. If you need to get up and go get your tea, if it's going to be a summit or a long event, if you want people there for the day, let them know, hey, go ahead and let us know you're going to be right back. Go walk out there, get some tea, grab your lunch, come back and just let us know. You do a little housekeeping. Hey, today, we're sponsored by Voice Lab Podcast, right? So where speakers can get seen and heard and simplify their life, front end and back end, right? Boom. Let them know what you're here for, and then do a little more housekeeping. Today, we're going to talk about the 5 steps to lead a impactful virtual event. And in this event, we're going to get to it. And then you go in with, hey, this is what we're going to do. So you got the hook, right? You're going to let people know you're guiding them. You're the expert. Again, build authority, take control. So they're going to come in the room, right? And they're going to, you want your hook. Like, hey, before you get into your bio, before you get into your story, hey, if there were a way for you to collect 1 billion leads and run a high impact virtual event, would you want to know about it? Give them a second. Pause. And say, of course you would. And I would say, because I'm me, that's why you're here. That's why they're here, but you want them to you, right? Right? You want them to, it's a speech, right? You want to jazz them up. Of course you would. That's why you're here. So that little simple hook, you're reminding people why they're here. Hey, today we're going to talk about these 3 really cool things. We're going to talk about your summit offer blueprint, your audience strategy, and simplifying your tech. Those 3 things. So I hope you have a notebook, because we're going to write down. So if you're using a pencil, get a little bit more lead. We're going to write hot and fast. I've got a PDF for you. You can follow along, print it out, whatever. We're going to work this out. We're going to hash it out, right? And then get into, hey, why am I talking about this today? Because I'm Nicole Borghi and I'm really cool, right? That's where you get into your bio, right? So I like to, I show people how to leverage their marketing, their stages as a marketing machine, right? So then you get into a little bit of your bio. Now these are just quick chunks, guys. It's not going to be perfect, but it's just a little guide that you want to sandwich, right? The hook, what are you here for? Who are you? A quick little background. They don't need all your certificates, right? And then the next thing is let's get into it. Here we go. And there's the three. You start talking about your Summit Offer Blueprint. Let's pull out your notebook, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more. And then you can go back to your slides. You can go back to your slides, and your slides are just an outline for people to see and just kind of follow along. So you're always having these touch points where you're bouncing people back to exactly what you're talking about. So people are visual, they got a slide, or maybe a quick video, or if they're audio, you're talking about it, right? If they want to write it down, right? So maybe they need it, they have touch. Touch is your notebook, right? So you covered all that and you're working it out and you're just regurgitating the same thing. If you make sure that you have that, it's going to be more impactful. And these people are really, when they write it down, right, you're spelling it out. That's the magic of giving them, hey, and then you're always seeding your call to action. So you want to say, hey, stay. If you have to leave early, let me know. Book an appointment with me. Reach out to me. Here's my information. I'm just going to pop it in there because I know everybody's got different schedules. Honor that. As a stage host, you can't force them in the room. You can't keep them there. You can't chain them to the floor. So, don't get mad at them. People have lives. Maybe it's not for them right now. So you give them your information and say, hey, you guys, if you have to leave early, I've got a great product for you. I've got my summer offer blueprint that's coming up. I'm going to share it with you at the end. But if you want to learn more and you have to leave for whatever reason, book a call with me because right now it's going to obviously it's at a value bonus and I'm adding extra bonus right now. I'll get into more about it later, but let's talk. And then you're seeding that call to action every time, right? And you want people to guide them. You don't want them to be lost in the sauce, right? Then when you reach out to them, even if it's not you, and you did this great yesterday, Colleen, it's like, hey, book a call with me. Let's talk, right? Hey, maybe right now you have more questions. And then yesterday people were coming on, they had lots of questions and you had lots of solutions for them. And you just really honored the audience that was there. And big room or small room, you want to really do that. But you have your workflow for those workshops. They're already set up, right? So you can make
Right.
sure right away.
Yeah, not only are they set up, but I'm switching up my master class for next week. It will be moving on to the Simplify master class. And so with my workflows, all I have to do is just clone them, edit a few details, edit my custom values, and they're good to go. Like within 20 minutes, they're completely good to go and ready to go and done. And so one of the things I love that you say is that your masterclass or your summit, your presentation, whatever stage you're on, it needs to be a gateway, not a finale. And I think so many speakers treat it as a finale. And I think, Nicole, that you've got the magic there when you tell them it's got to be a gateway to something better. Let's not rush this. Don't be the person that wants to sleep with your date on the first date. I don't know how else to say that. Like, take it slow, like, build the relationship, get to know them. And this should be a gateway. This should be hey, there's something better, and I'd love to share it with you conversation, right? Lead up to that so that people want to come into your world and they want to know more because there's more to know. It shouldn't be a dumping ground where you just like put it all out and go, okay, there it is, sort it out. No, we're not doing that. We're not dumping and sorting. We want to just give you enough so that you can see who we are, why we're passionate about what we do, and what it is that we do. And then when you want to know how that can integrate into your business, you can reach out and get on a call, get in the news on the newsletter list, get in the email sequence, get a little bit more as you go, right? A little bit more personable, a little bit more into what your audience needs, the attendees are are needing in their life. One of the ways that I love to do that is to take the questions that are asked during the summit, during your presentation, even during networking, when you present yourself, if somebody says, "Oh, but hey, wait, what did you mean by this?" or what exactly is that? Or whatever the question is, take that question and integrate it into your automation workflow for your emails, right? So take that question and include it in there somehow. Just go back to your email workflow, grab an email and say, in today's presentation, or recently I was asked, and integrate that, because if one person has that question, I can bet you more than one has the question, right? And so just integrate it in there. And maybe it's just a simple, maybe they need you to simply just give what you do from a different point of view, because not everybody understands things the same way. And so maybe they just need a different take on it. And so just being open to sharing that, but you know then that your audience is speaking to you this way and responding to you this way, utilize that and automate it into your workflow. What else do we have, Miss Nicole?
Absolutely. Well, we're coming up on time, but this is a great conversation because, we're really, our goal here is really to get into the nitty gritty of what you're doing. You have to do it a few times. You just have to get it done. And if you don't want to get it done and you're procrastinating, you can't always just let it go. If you can give this over to someone else, just because you can DIY it doesn't mean you should. You've got to let it go and find somebody that can provide that solution for you so you can be the creative and have that personality. If you're wasting your time trying to do it, and I'm not talking about people new in business, if you're wasting time trying to get this done, then you're just wasting time. You're trying to hold on to it and control it, and you're not letting it go, right? You've got to let it go and fly away and be free. And I think, on those videos, hey guys, if you have someone like Colleen, you were talking about the videos you're recording. I just want to circle back to that. If you need to have somebody on the call with you, sometimes this is a way. It helps a few people. It's helped a few clients of mine. If you're recording on something like a Zoom, you can have somebody in that conversation with you. So you're looking at someone and talking. So they can ask you the question and you can talk to someone. So it's not necessarily fear. So let's get over that one. Let's ditch that for a moment, okay? Sometimes it's just like, oh, I don't have anybody to spice up the conversation, and it's hard, so sometimes you have to have somebody there, like Colleen, if your husband's walking by, you can stand on the other end of the camera and make faces at you and you can talk to him, right? Just tell
Exactly.
him, right? So you could do that to spice it up because sometimes it's so much tech and sometimes we're doing so much that we just need to have somebody there. We need not only an accountability buddy, but somebody just to be there. Put a teddy bear on there, put a mask on them, pretend you're talking to them like you did when you were a kid. Whatever works. There's ways to do it where you're actually talking to somebody. And that's why I like to do stuff live. That way I could look in the chat or there's a co-host, there's a guest there. This way you're connecting and you're conversing. So I do want to say hello. I think I've seen some people in here. Doc Sheena's in here on LinkedIn, said that he loves this conversation. Thank you for being here. And check out that workshop today. Look forward to seeing you in there. But make sure that you're doing this. And what is the callback? So it's constant CTAs, it's constant call to action, it's constant going back to that. And that's what you want. You want success. So in order to have a success, you need to have that collaboration. So you guys, I'm also going to put the link in here for before we head out and go to commercial. I'm going to put the link in here for the be a guest list. And you guys, really, let's get to it. Let's just rock it out. This year in 2026, get on those stages, get those leads. And now you know what to do with it. You know how to share those leads and have the conversation. So it's not just a one and done and run away. That's why nobody finds you. You're the best kept secret. So anything else you want to leave with today?
I just want to see everybody in your masterclass later. I'm excited to be there, attend that, and support you. But not only support you, I mean, we know I love supporting you, but I actually am going to learn things. So I would love to have other people
Yeah.
join me there. So
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. All right, guys, we're going to head out with the commercial here. I look forward to seeing you guys 12 o'clock Eastern today. It's going to be a great workshop. Bring your notepad or have your document up there because there's a document, a PDF that you can get to. All right, so bye-bye, bye-bye. Love you guys. Have a great weekend.
You're showing up. You're posting. You're speaking. You're doing everything they told you would grow your business. So why is it not converting? Because visibility is only half the equation. Getting attention is easy. Turning that attention into clients takes strategy. VoiceLab was built to solve that. This is where front-end visibility meets back-end conversion. You learn how to get on stages, create your own platforms, and use podcasts, summits, and workshops to grow your audience and generate real leads. Then you learn what most people never build. A system that captures those leads, follows up, nurtures relationships, and turns interest into revenue. Email and newsletter strategy that actually gets responses. Workflows, not just more noise. Real connection that leads to real business. Inside VoiceLab, you are not guessing. You're learning the how. You're implementing in real time. You're building a business that works even when you are not constantly chasing attention. Because here's the truth. If you don't have visibility, no one knows you exist. If you don't have systems, nothing converts. VoiceLab gives you both, so you can stop performing for attention and start building momentum that pays you back. If you are ready to grow your authority, expand your reach, and finally turn visibility into income, join Colleen Stubbs and Nicole Borghi in the VoiceLab. Scan the QR code, join